Hi friends, welcome to this pre-market analysis of Nifty, where on a chart we try to make informed guesses of where buyers and sellers are. So this is the second time I'm recording this video. The first time my mic was on mute, and so absolute disaster. I have already drawn these levels and fair value gaps and everything for today, and I do not want to do it again. Just lazy to do it again. So I just maybe hide these and come back with. Let me just hide it in this order. So I'll have to. It comes up as I explain it. Yeah. So we start with the monthly time frame, and on a monthly time frame, the bias here is not sure. So for people watching it for this video for the first time, what we normally do here is we try to make informed guesses of the bias of Nifty, and from there we see important levels of buyers and sellers, support and resistance. So uh, this is the manual entry that I do on a table, and this is the indicator that I'm testing. So at the end of each day, I just see if both show the same values, and then we go ahead with our um, trade ideas. So this is on. I always start with the monthly time frame. On a monthly time frame, the bias is not sure. Why is it not sure? Because ideally, for a bullish bias, it should have higher lows. Higher lows implies buyers are buying at higher levels with confidence. And this March candle actually invalidated this low, and that's when everything went higher. And I do not have a bias on Nifty anymore. So now Nifty has to tell me who's winning. Until then, I have no bias. So important levels are, this is the support level that it is the resistance that we have been drawing for quite a while now, and looks like the monthly candle is taking resistance of that. And the important support where the buyers are is at this level. It's 21,740, 740, and then the sellers are at 24,337. Going over to the weekly time frame, things get interesting in the weekly time frame. The bias is bearish. Why is it bearish? It has made a lower high. This high you see here is lower than this high, and that's why it's been bearish for a while. Now there are a couple of fair value gaps that need to be shown at this level. That is one here. That's a bullish fair value gap, and then one here. No, one here. That's a bearish fair value gap. So I had uh, said approximately, started saying this approximately around the 10th of this month, that Nifty could very well, once it reaches here, it could very well consolidate um, in this at this level for a long time, and I will stop trading once it reaches here. So that's exactly, and then the trades that I would uh, ideally want someone to take would be iron condors once Nifty reaches here. So that's exactly playing out here. You see, now it has created a fair value gap, a bearish fair value gap here, and a bullish fair value gap here, and this is a very strong resistance level. So um, my intuition was, it wouldn't call it intuition, and it's an informed guess, was that on the final days of this month, Nifty could be sold off from here. You can watch my previous videos to verify if I had said this previously, but that's exactly what's playing out. But let's see, it's very uncertain times. News-based movements are very much possible. So at least for now, it looks like the next 3 days could be bearish. On the contrary, if a monthly candle closes above this level, then it's good for Nifty. Now going and the on a weekly time frame, I said it's already bearish. Okay, now going over to the daily time frame. On a daily time frame, okay, the bias is not sure. Why is it not sure? Because let me just zoom it out for you. It was bullish yesterday because you see this is a previous swing low, and this was the swing low that we were looking at. It is a higher low that it was, and it was not invalidated previously, and now it has been invalidated. Friday's candle has invalidated this low. Now there is no lower high form, that's why it is not sure. But it has also made a I'm just being clumsy with this. Yeah, it has also made a daily bearish fair value gap in here. So that is interesting. Nifty is creating bearish fair value gaps as in on each on the daily time frame, and then as we go forward we can also see if it is there on the other time frames. It just means there's a lot of momentum, a lot of market orders uh, happening in that particular direction. That's what a fair value gap implies. So a lot of people are selling at whatever price they get at these levels, and that's really bad for Nifty. Going over to the 4-hour time frame, on a 4-hour time frame is where I saw this particular candle. That's an interesting candle which I had not marked up previously, honestly. So on a 4-hour time frame, the bias is not sure, because once again this was the higher low that was created, that was invalidated. There's no lower high created, so it is not sure. And I had drawn a line on this one particular candle, and that has turned out to be an important candle, because there's a okay on a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap on a 4-hour time frame too that I'm not marking right now. On a 1-hour time frame, if you go here, you see these two candles. So what we ideally do is we measure the uh, top of the body of the first candle to the body of the bottom of the body of second candle, and find a midpoint and draw a line. And you see with great accuracy this is being the support has been taken. Now, is there a bias on a 1 hour time frame? Yes, there is. You see, this is a swing high, this is a lower high, and this is another lower high. So continuously lower highs being formed. So that is a bearish bias on an hourly time frame. So that is it for today. I am not a certified analyst, and I do this only for educational purpose. Thank you.